We start 5 seconds and we will start. Okay. Thank you for waiting. I think, yeah, we have a good crowd here. Let's start. We have about 1 hour, a little bit less, and I would like to cover the topic of using AI for coding, and also the topic of product thinking and product mindset, and how product mindset is getting more and more important in the era of AI, and how these two topics can work together nicely, like Gen AI and AI coding tools, and product mindset and building products. This talk is mostly targeted on technical people, developers. Yeah, I will assume that all of you are technical or somewhat technical, and optimally if you work in as a developer. My name is Nikolai. I'm CEO of Hyperskill, which is a learning platform for basically learning computer science, coding, and advancing in computer science skills by solving real-world projects and learning through them. Also, I'm a member of Sunday Club, which is a AI hacker group at MIT. And today we will cover multiple topics, and we'll have a time for Q&A at the end. But if you will have any questions, feel free to post them in a Zoom chat, and I will address them while I'm talking. And we will cover like why AI coding agents matter, and what is product mindset, and why it matters, how to develop, how to apply it, and some tips and principles of combining AI and product thinking. And yeah, also I will give you some resources for next steps. So AI coding agents. Probably since you are developers, you all know and use AI tools and AI agents. It's estimated that almost like every developer now use some kind of AI assistant, and up to like this AI assistants and AI agents give us like 50% faster task completion on coding tasks. So it's mostly limited to coding for developers, but yeah, it gives us quite a huge speed up. And this time saved from coding, we can spend on more higher level tasks like software design, like making decisions on like what to build and like architecture, how to build, instead of doing boring tasks like renaming variables, whatever, writing like some detailed like integration with some API and something like that. So it's much easier to code right now with AI coding tools, especially with agentic tools. So developers have more time to do something else, including high-level tasks and making better decisions for what to build and how it should work. And tools, probably you already use some of them. I personally use Claude Code. So tools, agentic like AI coding tools include Claude Code, Cursor, which is quite popular, Windsurf, which was recently acquired by OpenAI. GitHub Copilot existed before everything else, and it still exists, and have agentic capabilities. And JetBrains recently released Journey, which is agentic coding tool. And this tools helps a lot. Like so, they help to speed up development process, but especially for junior like developers, the AI tools helps to learn faster and get unstuck quickly. Previously, we used Stack Overflow or Googled errors and so on. Nowadays, we can just ask AI, either like AI assistant or ChatGPT, and we can like find your mistake like error and get unstuck much faster as a junior developers. Mid-level developers can nowadays focus more on architecture and trade-offs instead of writing like boilerplate code or doing some boring tasks. Mid-level developers can move higher on abstraction level of what they build, like how to structure this architecture of trade-offs. And senior developers, also like including everything before, can validate design ideas faster, so they can like prototype faster, they can build stuff much faster and iterate. Therefore, they can validate it faster. And also, senior developers can use AI to amplify mentorship. For example, if some junior developer is stuck and they want to get like pull request review or they don't understand some topic, senior developers can leverage AI to help junior developers in a way like that is like personalized and rely on the context of their like project, their technology stack, and so on. So that was about AI. Now about product mindset. So what is product mindset? It's about making every technical decision around a product whose success is judged by real-world user value and business outcomes. It means that the success of what you do, like technically, like of your technical work, is measured by end user value. So how the product you are building helps users, how the product you are building helps business, like which is your employer, for example. And keeping this in mind and making technical decisions to optimize this user value is called like product mindset or product thinking. Because sometimes we as developers, technical people, we would like to optimize for, let's say, like technical beauty and some like technical complexity sometimes. So we like naturally we think about ourselves as technical people, engineers, software developers, and we measure our success in how good a how technically good solution is. But the world outside is measuring our success as how helpful what we build is to use the end user, to our customers, to our business, and so on. So having product mindset means to account for this user values and business outcomes in your technical decisions. And it consists of, say, 5 like fundamentals which are important to have in mind. First one is understanding the user and their problem. So if you're building, let's say, learning platform, or if you're building payment provider, or you're building like, I don't know, taxi automation app, you need to understand the user and what problems do they have and how you solve them. And it also called empathy. So like you need to have empathy for the user and understand their needs of what they expect when using your product. The second one is also, yeah, you see my mouse here. Okay, great. Is measure outcomes, not output. So for example, some teams and some developers, and sometimes I find it and keep reminding about myself. Sometimes we measure like development team output, like number of tasks completed, number of features implemented, and so on. But it's not as important as outcome. So sometimes you can remove a feature. You can sometimes do less but it will be more helpful for the end user. So measuring outcomes and not output is important part of have a product mindset. The third one is balance speed, quality, and business value, because every technical decision has some trade-offs. You can like build it like more robust, less robust. You can vibe code it like very fast but very buggy, for example, and so on. And you need to balance speed, quality, and business value while you're making technical decisions, because sometimes it's optimal, for example, to build unscalable prototype. Sometimes it's optimal to like build it like very custom instead of trying to build like generic abstract layer and so on. So balancing technical aspects with business aspects is important in making product and like technical decisions. Fourth one is iterating based on the feedback and metrics, which means that if you understand the user and you understand how users use your product, you need to also apply this understanding and iterate and improve your product, improve like what you are building. And also you need to measure stuff. So you need to, if you're building, let's say, a login form, you need to measure like conversion rate between like visiting and successful login. And if you're building learning platform, you need to measure how many people complete the course or like learning outcomes, something like that. And you need to think in product metrics, not like performance, for example. Performance can be a product metric, but like speed of like performance basically is more technical metric, and uh, user outcomes and like user problems are more product metrics. Yeah, and the last one but not least, product mindset means that you also communicate your decisions and trade-offs. You communicate with a team, which is usually like cross-functional, like not only developers, and you do not get like stuck in developer-only communications. Yeah, so this is 5 fundamentals of product mindset, which I will also like talk a little bit later on more practical aspect of how to use it and how to combine it with AI code generation. But I wanted also to note that since writing code, generating code is much easier, much faster now, every developer can build much more than before. So every developer, you don't need like a large team to build something nowadays. Like 1-2 developers can build the same amount of, let's say, code, like technical product that like team of 10 were building just a few years ago. So in our so therefore, like we as developers have more time and we have more need to be more autonomous in understanding what to build. Because like, let's say 5 years ago, most of teams like had like product managers, project managers, they specified tasks and developers focus on the technical aspect. Nowadays, there is not as many product managers or project managers as developers, and also they will not be able to specify you all like details of the tasks. So you need to start making decisions, like starting from small decisions, like product related decisions on what to build, how to build, how to make what you build better for users. So you will become like more autonomous, more like product minded engineer, and therefore you will be able to build much more, and you will not be blocked and stuck by product managers or other people in org. So let's move on. 5 tips about product mindset. So we're not talking about AI here, but more general about product mindset. We will talk about AI in a few slides. So first tip is focus on the user. It correlates like with understanding the user and their problem. So try to understand and always start with understanding who is your user and what problem are you solving. If you're building feature, yeah, like try to understand like who would be the user. For example, if you're building a learning platform like Hyperscale, is the user like beginner or is it like advanced developer? Are they like English speaking or non-English speaking, for example, and so on. So if you understand the user better, you will be able to build something more relevant to this user. The second one is ask why often. So try to dig deeper, like understand deeper why you're building what you're building. Or if you decided to build something by yourself, also try to ask why to yourself, like why are you building it? Is it like really important? That will the user like need it, appreciate it, or it's just like a months-long refactoring, like nobody will notice and probably it's not like needed. I'm not saying that like refactoring and tech debt is not needed, but but sometimes like asking why will help us prioritize what really matters in terms of end user value. The third one is measure impact. So uh, do not only like think and guess about like what you're building and why it matters, but also try to measure how it really works. So try to measure some like metrics, conversion rates, usage, and so on, and use this data, use this information to make next decisions better and to optimize it. The fourth one is collaborate cross-functionally. Try to collaborate with product managers, designers, and other stakeholders to understand their perspective because you all, like as a team, are building some product for some users usually. And if you want to develop a product mindset and build more useful products, not just like technically nice, but they will not work for the user and will die like in a few years. If you want to build useful products which last and bring like impact and value to this world, try to understand product managers and designers and collaborate with them. And the last one is think holistically and plan for the future. So try to think like how what you're doing now, what you're coding now, what you're building now will affect like a future and long-term implication for the product. So maybe like you can find a shortcut in terms of like technical shortcut or product-wise shortcut, but maybe like it will not work in the future. So try to think like holistically, strategically about the product in a whole, not only like your part of it or your current task. If you have questions, feel free, or if I'm too fast, too slow, too boring, feel free to post a comment and I will adjust to you. The next section, we will talk about AI specifically and product mindset. So AI is changing how we code, how we build products. It's making us much, much faster in terms of coding. It's a little bit like different way of coding than we used to use before, because it's most like prompting and iterating and so on. But AI is definitely changing software development as a profession. And also product mindset is getting more and more important. So what can we do on intersection of these two trends to build better products? First one is like it's nothing new. Like usually, like with AI-driven development flow, you prompt something. So you want to build a feature or find a bug or like write a unit test or whatever. You prompt something, you generate. Then you usually like review the code or like review like sometimes you don't read every line of code which is generated, but you review the overall correctness of the same like this code review for pull request, for example. So you review what you got from AI which generated the code. Then you test it, sometimes like with unit tests, sometimes with other tests, with integration tests and so on. Then you deploy it and measure the effect of how it works for users, how it works for systems like you are building, and so on, and then you iterate. So it's basic flow on how we develop software right now. There is no, it's not like one-way arrows actually here. So if you, for example, prompted and generated and you didn't like it, you reprompt it. And since generating code is much faster and cheaper right now, sometimes it's easier to just roll back and prompt again and generate something else instead of trying to fix the generated code. So the common pattern of writing code for a long time and then debugging it and fixing bugs is breaking a little bit, because we can prompt, generate. If we have a bug, we roll back to the previous commit, for example, and we prompt again with a better prompt by specifying, no, please no, don't make this bug, and so on. So it's a little bit different than we used to code before, but in general, this is a flow how we work. And so back to product mindset. Try to think about the product and insert product metrics in review and measure stage. So for example, when you review a pull request from your AI coding agent or like a diff between your code and what AI wrote to you, try to also think about users. Actually, I don't need my headphones. Try to think about users, how they like will your code solve the user problem. And also, yeah, on a measure part, like try to measure not only technical metrics like, I don't know, performance or like crash rate. Well, crash rate is also kind of product metrics. But yeah, try to measure and understand the measurement of how users are using your product. So basically, AI is making this cycle much faster. And if you don't think about product during this cycle, you can end up with, for example, building lots of useless features, because you can build features much faster. Or like what you build will fail to solve user problems and so on. So the cycle is getting faster in terms of coding, but for you, it should, like, you need to slow it down by incorporating product thinking into at least like review and measure stage. So basically, prompting and generating code is much faster than you used to write code before. And this one can be a little bit slower to still like deliver good user value, because like no product manager will come like every hour and will say you what to do. So basically, yeah, AI handles grunt work, and you need to steer towards user value and delivering this user value. So 5 tips now specifically about how to incorporate product mindset into your usage of AI while coding. This first one is quite interesting. It's basically when you prompt. So when you ask AI to build something for you or to fix something for you, include product-related context in your prompts. So if you are building a feature, for example, instead of like build this like login page prompt, you can specify like build this login page prompt for like learners who are beginner software developers and want to learn how to write, let's say, in Python. So if you know like information about your user, like for example, your persona, like your target audience, try to include it into your code generation prompts. In this way, AI will and may use this information to write more relevant, better code for your product. Yeah. And so the second one is about iterative review and refinement. It's important in AI coding in general. Treat AI generated code as a draft, and you can reiterate on this draft. You can just throw this draft out and create a new draft and so on. So iterations on large amounts of code are getting like more important nowadays because code generation is fast. So you can like iterate, refine. You can also iterate and refine your prompt. So if your first prompt didn't produce the result you wanted, you can refine it. And also, yeah, in terms of either like code quality or technical aspects, and also regarding product aspects. And the second one. The third one is about incorporating user feedback early. So AI is making development much faster, especially if you're like building on a small code base. It's really easy to vibe code prototype and features. So instead of, for example, instead of discussing with a user or with a product manager or product owner, like what you can build, how you can build, and so on, you can almost live prototype features and show it to them. Because yeah, maybe like it will not work perfectly, it will have some security issues and so on. But with since prototyping is much faster, you should prototype much more. You will probably like throw out some of these features and so on, but you can prototype and show the result to the user much faster. So instead of like previously, product managers and like product marketing managers, they've done like lots of market research, like product research and so on, because building was expensive. So it was optimal to think more about what to build. So then we can commit like resources on building stuff, and it takes like a year and a team of 10 developers and so on. Nowadays, building is cheap. So instead of overthinking what to build, and like discussing like multiple solutions, doing like lots of like market researches and so on, instead of this, you can actually try to quickly prototype multiple features, multiple versions of your product, and show it to users, show it to your colleagues, and get a feedback and iterate fast. So yeah, basically building is cheaper, therefore you can build more and substitute some of market research with just building and releasing or showing these prototypes to your users. Fourth one is yeah, try to balance speed and with understanding, because yeah, with AI you can generate lots of code, but sometimes we don't have time to understand the code it generates, and it's getting like out of hands very fast. So it's important sometimes to think about what you generated, what you've built. You can also use, and you should use AI to optimize, like maybe like refactor what you've built so it's more maintainable in the future. If yeah, if this future like will happen. So if this is not like a fast prototype, but a long-lasting product, or already like a huge product with a huge user base, you should definitely balance speed with understanding what's going on with the code base. And last but not least is think beyond code. So AI for coding is like very fast moving and popular, and we all use some AI tools for this, but also you can use AI to generate ideas of features, like generate documentation, user stories. You can ask AI, like, I have this product, like, and have as these users, like, what kind of features will users appreciate? or like what kind of features can I remove from this product so users will have a better UX, for example. So think beyond the code and use AI not only for coding but also for product management, like product tasks and related to your code, to your line of work, let's say. So some examples can be like prompt examples, and I think I will show you a few examples in a few minutes. For example, like build a login flow, minimizing friction. So instead of just build a login flow or login page, you can specify that you want to minimize friction for users. So AI will build not something like generic, but more like will take in mind in artificial mind what's important for you and your users. The second example is like you can refactor the endpoint to handle like 30% traffic. So you can specify the target user metric here. So it's kind of like your user are using your endpoint, for example, API endpoint. And you can specify what you want to achieve in your prompt. So AI know your goal and what like outcome you're working towards and can try to help you. It not always work, but yeah, at least it's more, AI will be more aligned with your goals and your product goals. The third one is interesting example also. You can we usually like generate unit tests with AI, but you can ask generate user test for top 3 user journeys. So instead of generating generic unit tests based on code, you can prioritize top like user journeys, user scenarios in your product and generate tests that cover them. So your unit tests will cover like what's important for users, not only what's like written in the code. Yeah, like suggest two design options and can compare UX trade-off. So if you need to make some decision, like software design in general, you can ask AI to compare and critique every decision and give you feedback, and also incorporate it into then code gen prompts. And the last one is like explain how this code affects checkout conversion. So for example, if you have a feature, you can explain how it works, but you can also ask AI about like conversion or any product related metrics. I can show you an example here. Yeah, so this is actually hyperskill code base. And I'm using Claude Code, and I already pre-prompted it, but I will explain because yeah, we have limited time. But for example, this is Claude Code terminal with Claude Code plugin for PyCharm, and I just asked like find bugs, and Claude Code went to try to find bugs in the code base, and it found that some bugs like critical issues and so on and so on. But then I prompted which of, I can probably make it, I cannot make it, I can make this one larger, but cannot make this terminal larger. Okay, well, I will voice over if you don't see it well. So I asked which of these bugs are most important for users. And basically AI helped me prioritize these bugs, like for example, missing gamification data for new user, like new users don't see their progress on first load, and it directly impacts user engagement and motivation. So AI helped me to understand that from all these bugs, like this may be important for the user. Like a second one is unprotected parse from JSON. It affects reliability and user trust by crashing the application. Some hard-coded pricing, for example, users may see outdated prices and could lead to like billing confusion, missing discounts, and so on. So I can ask AI to basically not just find bugs, but find bugs that are important. And for example, if I can ask fix the most important and creative for your learners. And this is a like very basic example, and I did not provide like lots of information for for about the user and so on. But you can understand the idea that I don't only like prompt it with technical details, but also I include product details in my prompts. And yeah, it decided that gamification is like most important, and yeah, and did like fix this bug. Yeah, I can also like I can ask improve user conversion on registration form so they register easier and faster. But it's still working on the previous time. Yeah, okay. So it's done something previously. Yeah, I would usually like review it and commit and push, but I will not do it now. I will just show you, yeah, like I'm asking Claude to improve user conversion and registration forms so they register easier and faster. And it will probably like, go to find the registration form, understand like what may like slow down users or like what may be confusing. Sometimes it's like confusing text, confusing messages, and so on. Yeah, it will be more aligned with my product, let's say, goals. Okay, let it keep working, and we will continue with the presentation. Um, so there is a list of some ideas you can try later on, and I think we will send out the presentation. So the first one is you can try to generate API with its users in mind. So instead of just generating API, you can specify who will use your API. Maybe it's like your other team or some third party, like what kind of restrictions do they have and so on. So you can try and understand API users and then generate like the API contract and endpoints and every code with users in mind. You can ask AI to find and fix a bug and explain why why it matters for users, why it's a bug, and so on. Also, you can try to ask AI to find like usability bugs. So it's also interesting experience because AI can try to understand, yeah, what code works and it maybe like passes tests and so on, but it's overall it's like not very useful. Like the product is not very useful, for example, like hard to use. And you can ask AI to find and fix usability bugs, not only formal like technical bugs. The third one, we already covered it, like write unit tests covering top user flows and user like journeys. So instead of covering everything, you can specify like user journeys you're most interested in and cover them with tests first. You can refactor for improved performance and specify like exactly like what kind of performance improvement you're looking for. Last also use case, which is interesting by explaining code, you can generate README and onboarding guide for your colleagues, for example. So you can generate documentation based on a code, what this code do, and also include product aspects like how it helps users here and there, like what they do, some like parts of user journeys and so on. Also, more pitfalls to avoid is try to not over trust AI. It's getting better and better, so probably in the future we will trust it more. And sometimes we will not even like look at the code because it will be perfectly written, the same as we don't look at machine codes nowadays. So like we write in, let's say, Python or TypeScript, and we don't look at how it was compiled, and because we're trusting it. Maybe in the future we will prompt AI to write like code features, modules, like whatever, and we will not look at this code, but nowadays it's still like important to understand, like find hidden bugs and security risks and do not overtrust AI. The second one is related. So if you accept everything and do not look at what was there, you can lose understanding on what's going on in your code base and your product. So sometimes you try to pay this debt of like knowledge debt of understanding, like from copy pasting or from just mindlessly accepting code. But you can do it also with AI. So for example, if you need to build something fast, you can build it, like you can iterate whatever, you can ship it, and then you can spend, let's say, like 1 hour trying to discuss with AI assistant, like what changes were made, why it works, like why it's structured this way, so on. So ask AI to explain you what happened. So you still, in your head, you have understanding of your product, of your code base as a system, which you will work with. And the last one is, let's say, like prompt myopia, is basically AI can do something very specific, but which will not fit in a larger context of your project. And for example, if you prompt like fix this bug, AI will fix this bug, but maybe like it will create more bugs somewhere else. It's the same as like, I don't know, junior developers sometimes do. So AI currently is on a level of junior developer, so you can expect the same errors and mistakes as you would expect from delegating this task to junior developers. The solutions are similar. So if AI is too specific and do not look on like other um, other things happening in your code, you need to prompt better. You need to say to this AI or to this junior developer, uh, also make sure that it doesn't break anything else, or please make sure it also use like our company guidelines on like pull requests, or it also like ensures that like the system is still working and so on. So AI can be too focused on a task you prompted. Therefore, try to give more details, more context, so AI will consider it while writing code. Let's see whether okay. So um, we asked AI to what was it? Improve user conversion and registration form, so they register easier and faster. They probably users. And Claude identified like key conversion barriers. Email form is hidden by default. Long terms create friction, like intimidating legal text. Multiple steps, generic call to action buttons, no preview of benefits, and it actually made some like made an email form visible, for example, so it reduced friction for people who wants to register with email. Instead of just like email, it put like a longer placeholder and so on and so on. It added some benefits of why people should register, which is not always correct, but as an idea you're gonna iterate on later, it's a good one. Yeah, it made like it changed by continue you agree to the terms, by continue you agree to our terms to make it softer. And yeah, like hyperscale terms of service and privacy policy changed to terms and privacy policy, so it made like a legal text less intimidating. And yeah, email is required. Change to please enter your email, which is also less intimidating, and so on. Like start for free, start learning to focus on a user goal in mind. Yeah, so basically AI optimized registration form and decided also made product decisions by using our product direction we prompted. So yeah, use AI in this way. So AI will help you make better products and make better product decisions. Actually, AI made some product decisions here for me. I can roll back some of them. I can change some of them, but it's a good start. And it's fast. So it's not only you don't need to wait for others to say you what kind of legal text to put on registration form or whatever. You can just optimize it, keeping users in mind by yourself. Okay, next steps. So overall, my recommendations are first one, I think it's most important, is try new tools often. So if you're using just one tool, try another one, try different tools. I used to use Windsurf. Nowadays I use Cloud Code mostly. And yeah, Cursor has a very large community and large user base, lots of Cursor rules and ideas and so on. JetBrains also released this journey a few months ago. So yeah, try to use new tools, new code gen tools, because they're getting smarter, more autonomous, and more fun to use. And if you used something like a year ago, I don't know, even half a year ago, today they're completely different beasts. A second one, prompt with a user in mind. So instead of specifying technical details, specify user stories, features in a user's, copy paste tasks from from your task tracker from product managers with a user a description into prompts. And since we are still developing products with code, you often need to make technical decisions and include them in prompts. But yeah, combine them with user metrics, outcomes, and basically what you want to achieve for the user. There is good Simon Wilson LLM guides about prompting. I recommend you to read it. It's for technical people on basically how effectively use AI to code. And it's using AI to code is more actually managing engineering teams rather than coding. So probably that's why managers usually enjoy this topic more than individual contributors, like individual developers. But yeah, so it's a little bit, you need to change how you think about writing code to use AI coding tools and agents effectively. So I recommend you this guide. And also keep learning, share your wins and fails with colleagues, with friends, with us. It's interesting journey in AI in general and product AI coding in particular and product development. It's very fast moving, changing field nowadays. So probably how we build product today, yeah, well, probably, but it's definitely how we build products today is different from how we built products a year ago, but it also will be different in 1 to 3 few years. So try to stay updated, try different tools, try different approaches, experiment, learn. The field will change and it's moving, but it is fascinating. Nowadays we can build much more faster and better, so we can build better products. We can impact more users, help more users, and yeah, keep learning. Also, we have two two events, two announcements. The first one, in 1 week, we will hold another webinar about this topic I talked about product thinking for engineers, but it will be more practical with some practical assignments, sessions, and feedback, and probably homework. It will be a paid webinar. If you want to join, scan this code or click this link. can somebody post this link in the chat? And somebody from our team. Yeah, if you want to dive deeper into this topic, if you want to practice and get feedback from us on what we discussed today, join this webinar by using this link. And also, we in Hyperskill we have a bootcamps, which is more intensive programs, education programs for employee upskilling. So if you want to upskill your team about like AI, for example, we have like AI engineering bootcamp. So how to ship AI features, how to automate like internal operations also with AI, and how to integrate like AI into your products, how to call LLMs, how to build racks, whatever. Yeah, we have bootcamps about that. Feel free to check it out and book a call with our team to explore what kind of bootcamps will fit your team. Yeah, we will be happy to see you on our other programs. So first one is a deeper dive in product thinking for engineers and bootcamps in general. I think that's it for today. We have about 5 minutes for questions. Do we have questions? Oh, we have Q&A. Okay, I was watching on the chat, but we have a Q&A session. The one question was, are you using Juni or inbuilt AI coding agents? Right now, I mostly use Claude Code. I've been using and using Juni sometimes for like Java and Kotlin user base. For everything else, I use Claude Code. It's a plugin for IntelliJ for PyCharm, and it's working well. You need a Claude subscription to make it work almost without limits. Any more questions? Hey, we don't have any questions. Okay, then if you will have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. I think you've got email from us, from Zoom, about this event, and you can reply to this email with any questions, and we will be happy to help. Yeah, and so since I have 2 more minutes, I will emphasize again that I encourage you to try to use new tools, try to use like agentic coding tools, try to use different ones. Most of them have free tiers, like at least some small free tiers. Yesterday, Google released like another one, and Warp, I think, released like Terminal released another agentic tool. So it's interesting time with like a very huge progress happening very fast. So try to use different tools and become more confident in using them. And you will have much more free time by using these tools. So use this time to think about your users, your customers, your business, your product. So try to deliver not only like technical solutions, but more like product solutions, product improvements. So end users will notice and will appreciate the work you do because you will understand them and you will ship features they want, they need, and they appreciate. Do you have, the question is, do you have same understanding of your code base compared to no AI age? I don't. So, well, for Hyperskill, it's still like written mostly like pre-AI. so I understand it similarly. But for like some like new projects, new products, and so on, I don't understand the code as well as I used to before, but I don't think you have to understand the code. So we are moving on a higher level of abstraction in building products, and you you can build stuff without understanding details. The same as you can you can build software without understanding hardware nowadays. You can build a web app without understanding how internet works and like protocols and so on. But with AI, you will be able to build great products by understanding like what features users need, what user scenarios are, and so on, without deep understanding of code behind this project. Actually, managers used to work in this mode even before, because like if you're a product manager or like business lead, you have engineering team who write code, and this engineering team understand code, but you as a product manager, for example, or product leader, you don't understand exactly the code which serve your users. And now developers also moving up in this abstraction. So developers will not always understand all details of the code, but they will think about end users and product more than about the code. And also AI helps to understand the code. So if something is not clear, if something is confusing, you can always ask AI. It's much faster. You don't need like great up-to-date documentation. You can just ask AI to explain code for you or explain like how it works. And it's much easier to understand when you need it. So you don't always need to have this understanding always. Are modern AI assistants like a stick or a sword? Uh, that's a great question, but I don't quite understand. I think it's a they're making us much more, probably like a stick. I don't know. But I probably didn't understand the question. If Milan can reformulate it, I would be grateful. But yeah, AI assistants make our work easier and more impactful. So I think it's very it's great invention. Let's say it's great time to build products, to be a developer, to ship things, to make like impact for users. And yeah, I encourage you to explore it and use all tools available to you and try new things. Okay, we are over time. Thank you all for joining this webinar. Thank you for questions. It was fun. Have a great rest of the day or night, depending on when you are. Bye bye.